What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shad, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, and Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. Everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel, help make this show the best that it can be. Hey man, look. These cats, man, they must not have anything to do. They must not have anything to do, man. And they just out here jibber jabbering, man. And it's getting to the point, man, where you only want to see these cats around anymore. Just leave, man. Just go away. Just go away. Man, this is the equivalent of, let's say, oh man, like John Starks, Vinnie Johnson, and let's say, I'm just throwing names out there, Danny Ainge. If they was doing a podcast back in the 90s, if podcasts existed back then, and they was like, oh man, Jerry West, man, shit, he didn't really have no bag, you know what I'm saying? Or, all Bill Russell could do is this or that, or all Will could do is this or that. Oh man, Rick Barry, man, he was like a one trick pony, That's basically what we doing here, man. So, and like I said, man, I started picking up on this around 2014-ish, somewhere around that time frame, man. And I start noticing, man, bits of misinformation was being printed and presented to the public about Michael Jordan's career, man. I said, no, that's not right. I said, no, that ain't right. I said, well, maybe they made a mistake, but I said, well, an athlete like Jordan, where his game has been spoken on, highlighted to such a degree where certain things is just embedded into your memory. Like when he retired in 1993, he had the highest scoring point per game average in the regular season, postseason, and the finals. He retired in 93 with a career scoring average of 33.4 points a game. I still remember that to this day. And you got these cats, man. It's like they choosing to present themselves as misfits and rejects. And no one's saying that they were bums when they played. Paul Pierce and Danny Green say Michael Jordan has a limited offensive bag. Shea got more bag. And see, this is what I'm talking about. They will not let today's players stand on their own. They always compare to players of the past, particularly players from the 90s, the era that Jordan dominated. Because truth be told, Jordan really dominated from an individual perspective the moment he entered the NBA, averaging 28.2 points a game, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. But from a team perspective, from the moment he won his first championship in the Chicago Bulls, you knew nobody had an answer. As Isaiah Thomas said, well, really, nobody's really found a way to stop this guy. He was on the brink of, winning his third straight championship. So what I'm saying is, man, they won't let these players stand on their own. So what happens is a fan who grew up during that time, they gotta break stuff down and say, okay, like I love what Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is doing, man. I love the way he built himself up, believed in his game, improved to the point where he became league MVP, led his team, Oklahoma City Thunder, to the championship. And I considered him to be the best player in the NBA. Just as I did with Jokic when he won the title. Just as I did with Giannis when he won the title in 2001. 2021. Just as I did with Kawhi Leonard when he led Toronto to the title in 2019. And I can sit here and say, well, Steph Curry led his team to the title in 2022. So I'll say, well, by that season's end, he was the best player in the NBA. But they won't let it. It's like they have to push it. They have to, anytime someone wins now, they have to tear someone else down from the past. Oh man, So when the Minnesota Timberwolves was advancing in the playoffs last year, oh man, Rudy Gobert, man, he could take out Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? Hakeem Olajuwon, is that where we taking this now? Rudy Gobert has never averaged no more than maybe 15 points, 14 points in a season. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon was a scoring champion, a league MVP, defensive player of the year, NBA champion, finals MVP, back-to-back champion. What are we talking about, man? So once again, Michael Jordan has no bag. How can you not have a bag and enter the NBA, the most fundamentally sound player in the league, and was already considered a top 5 player at this rookie year? So much so Bill Russell said, I would pay money to go watch this man play. When Jordan won his 5th league MVP in 1998, Bill Russell was standing there beside him, taking a picture with him, taking a picture together, him and Jordan. So I'm telling you, man, this stuff is getting silly, man. It's getting silly. How can you not have a bag but be the all-time? When we talk about averages, degree of difficulty, 10 straight, he won 10 scoring titles. He really won 10 straight scoring titles in 10 full seasons. He broke Wilt Chamberlain's record of consecutive seasons leading the league in scoring. That's a hell of a feat right there. Wilt the Stilt, who was the all-time career scoring leader until Kareem surpassed him in 1984. And if Michael Jordan really wanted to, man, he could have played a whole bunch of years, man. If he wouldn't have retired to go play baseball, add them 2 years. And if he wouldn't have retired when the management broke up the Bulls in '98, add on another 3 years. He could have broke the scoring record himself. These dudes just talking. They won't let today's players stand on their own. It's almost like the way the current NBA landscape is shaped now. They want today's players to compete against the ghost of yesterday instead of competing against today. I've never seen like this in my life. In the 80s, it was about whoever was playing in the 80s, the focus was who was the best player during the 80s, the competition. Same thing with the 90s, 2000s, and I know it was the same thing with the 70s and the 60s. But they want to take the current era, because all they want to do is prove that today's game is better than yesterday, really to diminish Jordan, man. And it's all over the joint, no matter where you turn. You got a head coach saying, well, whoever's considered the top 20 players of the past 20 years should surpass any other great player that's ever played this game in years and generations prior. It's total insanity. Then you got another contingent of people that talk about the level of competition or the lack thereof during the 90s, or the expansion era, where if you really think it out, if you didn't have expansion, the teams that were brought forth through expansion in the late 80s, before the Bulls era started, through the mid 90s, those cities would have a team today. It's just total stupidity. It's insanity. It's insanity, man. And like I say, it's always rooted in trying to elevate one guy by tearing down, consensus-wise, the greatest player in the history of the NBA. That's what this is all about, man. And they coming at you every day with it. It's like a barrage, man. It's like as soon as you wake up in the morning, somebody gonna say something whack. You can count on somebody saying something whack because they trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator, man. That's all this is about. Because they can't push this stuff to someone like myself or other content providers that have a more prominent and long-standing platform as behind the bench. Sports like Too Raw for Sports or Sports and Fitness Rants, or NBA Self-Research Facts, or Uncommon Sense. People who grew up watching the NBA then angry or who's fan. I tell you, man, that's one funny cat. Boy, he's a funny cat. But just other great content. Siberius, the Great Siberius. We grew up. We watched this stuff, man, and we're not saying that we're better fans, but we grew up watching it. This is total insanity. He had no bag, and the thing about it is, the dude had every move in the book. So basically, what they saying, it's almost like, because they'll say, well, Jordan was not a good 3-point shooter. But the thing is, like Jordan said, I didn't want to focus on the 3 because it's going to take away from the other aspects of my game. You look at James Harden. James Harden, in his prime, shot a lot of 3s and got to the free throw line. But in the playoffs, when you take that away, the ability to manipulate officiating to get to the free throw line, where you really have to have go-to moves, his scoring average declined by almost 10 points. Jordan's averages actually went up from regular season to postseason to the finals. Now, which player would you rather have in money time? And I'm not saying James Harden not a Hall of Famer. What I'm saying is, man, these dudes just be out here talking. They don't want to talk about the game like former players did in the past when they retired. They talk of the game. Or ex-coaches, Mike Fratello, he wasn't sitting there trashing, because Mike Fratello coached the Atlanta Hawks. He coached Dominique Wilkins. And then he moved on to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the early 90s. After Lenny Wilkins stepped down and ironically took the job in Atlanta. They was giving you illustration of the game, the Czar the Telestrator. They was explaining to you defensive concepts. Jordan had to face, and Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bean Bryant, they had to go up against double teams and traps. You don't see as much double teaming and traps in today's game. That's just a stone cold fact. Now, people may take it that you it's not that you're crapping on it. I enjoy watching the NBA to this day. But it's the truth. Jordan had to go up against the New York Knicks, man, had arguably the most imposing perimeter-oriented defense in league history, man. Go back, anybody, pull up footage of the 92 playoffs between the Knicks and the Bulls in the Eastern Conference semifinals, man. And you had John Starks out there, man. Xavier McDaniel, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. Then you had Patrick Ewing. That defense, and Mark Jackson was a solid defender in his own right. Man, you look at the way they playing defense out there, man. There was a game where Michael Jordan, for that one game, Michael Jordan did not go to the basket, man. And then the Bulls had to adjust and eventually came back and won their series. But what I'm saying is that defense was so intense, like they was sweating trying to stop Michael Jordan. In some kind of way, he broke through, and in game 7, he dropped that 42 piece and beat the Knicks and moved on to the next round. If he didn't have a bag, man, the way the Bulls was set up, Michael Jordan had to average 30 points a game, even in the first round, for the Bulls to advance. This is when a mature Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, he had to average 30 points in the first round just for them to advance. So don't sit here and tell me that someone didn't have a bag. These dudes just talking, man. And like Danny Green was solid. He was a great shooter, man. He in the finals in 2014 for the Spurs versus the Miami Heat, man, he couldn't miss a shot. But he wasn't no all-star, no, much less a superstar. And then Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, the first ballot Hall of Famer, man. But he forgot. Jordan was locking them down. 40-year-old Jordan was locking them down. These dudes just talking, man, just talking the game. They doing a disservice to the game. And then these young minds, they have been conditioned to seek that type of as far as like insight or description of Jordan's game to fit what they want to believe with what they've been told. It's nasty work, man. I call it diabolical work. That's what I call it. It's diabolical what they doing. But they hurting the game, man. So I just want to drop that real quick, man. Please leave your comments and thoughts. Every day, somebody says something whack. That's where we at right now when it comes to the NBA. It's just as simple as that. And it's sad. It's sad. If these dudes gonna continue to do this, man, just pull the plug on the podcast, man. Pull the plug on the podcast. And just go do something else. It's getting sad. And what make it crazy, man, Jordan don't say nothing. That's what's crazy, because technically he really don't have to, because the history and the footage gonna show anyway. Once these dudes leave, man, and people start to encourage youth to really look at, because it's on YouTube, just really look at what people saying about Michael Jordan in real time, man, they gonna be upset with these talking heads and realize how much they've been misled and brainwashed. And it's going to be an ugly backlash. But leave your comments and thoughts. Till next time, this is your boy JB. The show is called BTB. Behind the Bench.